This is Good Morning Indiana, working for you.
Students and community members are calling for an IU professor to be fired for racist and sexist blog posts, while the university administration says their hands are tied.
New data raising concerns over Indiana's lead levels, why some experts are comparing the health danger to the Flint, Michigan water crisis.
And a company building autonomous vehicles is moving to central Indiana. The workers they're looking to hire at their new headquarters. 5 o'clock on your Friday morning. Thanks for starting your day with us. I'm Meredith Barrett.
And I'm Lauren Casey. Todd Clausen is with us this morning to break down our Friday forecast. Todd, football's still going on. Cedar Grove's going to semi-state tonight. What do people need to wear?
Are you going to be staying in the stands?
You know, I think I'm going to watch the live stream.
You're not going to brave the weather?
Not braving the conditions.
Anymore? Not the true fan
Yeah, mom life.
It will be chilly. It will be chilly, but it will be dry for all those games this evening. So that is the good news. Yesterday was just kind of a damp and dreary day. We had some showers and then kind of that pesky drizzle off and on throughout the evening hours. Well, most of the rain has come to an end. The exception, some southern locations here as we are dealing with just some light showers and some drizzle from Bloomington to Nashville to Columbus. A little more of a steady rainfall just south of Seymour. That steady rain, though, will continue to move out of the area. We'll be left with lots of clouds here this morning, but later on this afternoon, we should start to thin those clouds out. It'll be a gradual process, and you can see them trying to do so already here in northern locations, but I do think we get some sunshine in here later on this afternoon, so it's not a bad Friday. It's just a day that we're not going to see our temperatures warm much at all. We're in the 30s and 40s right now, so we're above freezing. That's the good news. You don't have to worry about any slick spots out there, but throughout the day today, we are just not going to see our temperatures warm much at all. We maybe go up a degree or two, even once we get the sunshine, and that's because throughout the day today, we will have a cool northwesterly wind. Lauren?
All right, Todd, thanks so much. Here is a look at traffic heading through Hamilton County, starting all the way up here at State Road 38, heading down to I-465 ramp, so a long stretch here on southbound I-69. Everything looks to be traveling smoothly. It's a 17-minute drive, so it won't take you too long this morning. Let's take a look in that area, I-465 and I-69. This is near Benford Boulevard. You can see some headlights there on your screen. Traffic is traveling up to speed. Do want to get to some breaking news that we are following this morning. This is from the city's south side. That's where police are investigating an early morning shooting. This all happened in the 4100 block of Continental Court. That's not far from the intersection of South Meridian Street and Hannah Avenue. Police say one man was injured in that shooting but is expected to survive. There's no word yet on any suspects in that case.
Indiana University Bloomington is doing damage control this morning. A professor's social media posts now have students, alumni, and community members calling for him to be fired. Eric Rasmussen is the professor at the center of the controversy. IU officials in the Kelly School of Business have condemned his tweets and blog posts as racist, sexist, and homophobic. He's questioned if women belong in academia, if African Americans should attend elite schools, and if gay men should be teachers. Petitions online are calling for him to be fired, but the university says it's not that simple.
We're a public institution, and unlike private employers, we're bound by the First Amendment of the Constitution.
Because of that, IU says they cannot fire Rasmussen over stuff he shares on his personal accounts. Rasmussen says the situation has been overblown and that he's entitled to his opinion. He's been posting things like this online since 2003. The university is making accommodations for students who feel uncomfortable taking classes from him.
At 5:04 this morning, RTV6 is working for you, looking into an issue that could impact people right here in Indianapolis. A new study has found lead contamination in homes and backyards all across the city. Our Kelsey Anderson is joining us live this morning with how residents are reacting to this startling news. Kelsey.
Yeah, so this new research has experts comparing Indianapolis to Flint, Michigan. But the difference is here in Indianapolis, the source of the lead is coming from more than just one location. Lead has been found in dirt, dust, and old water pipes. Experts tell RTV6 the amount of children in Indianapolis who have tested positive for lead poisoning was equal to those poisoned in Flint. At an awareness forum hosted by the NAACP, Reggie Jones, an Indianapolis resident, was livid after learning of the Circle City's lead problem for the very first time.
Upset, very angry, disappointed with the mayor, the health department, because they're keeping the information from us. We should know what's going on. They say if we let the people know, they will panic. We should panic, and we should be upset with them because they haven't done anything about it.
Now, earlier this year, the NAACP partnered with Mayor Joe Hogsett and did voluntary lead testing for kindergartners and first graders in the city's charter schools. Next year, they will begin testing IPS and Pike Township schools. Now, coming up in the next half hour, you're going to hear from an Indiana legislator who says she tried to do something before it came to this. Reporting live in Indianapolis, Kelsey Anderson, RTV6.
Kelsey, thank you. Time now is 5:05. Investigators now believe that a fire that damaged an industrial building in Shelbyville was intentionally set. That fire happened on Wednesday at an old building on Webster Street. According to Shelbyville police, they're now conducting a criminal investigation. Detectives interviewed 4 juveniles who may have been involved in this fire, but no arrests have been made. The fire caused parts of the building's roof and floors to collapse. Thankfully, no one was inside at the time, but 2 firefighters suffered minor injuries while working to put out those flames.
An Indiana man has been arrested in connection to a 25-year-old homicide cold case in Wisconsin. Authorities say DNA technology linked Willie Coleman Jr. to the 1994 homicide case. He allegedly choked 40-year-old Lula Cunningham, ran over her with a vehicle, and possibly sexually assaulted her. Cunningham's body was later found near a road in Madison, Wisconsin. Police had a breakthrough in 2015 when DNA from Cunningham's sexual assault kit matched Coleman. According to court documents, in the years since, Coleman admitted to coming across the victim and having sex with her in a van, but blames another man for driving over her. Madison police arrested Coleman in Marion, where he will be held awaiting prosecution. A unique opportunity is coming to Central Indiana. Hoosiers will be needed to help in the research and development of driverless shuttles like these. This comes after a California-based company announced that it's moving its global headquarters to Fishers. Perceptive is currently located in Santa Clara. It will keep an office there but move its headquarters to Fishers and create up to 160 new jobs by the end of 2022. Those jobs include engineers, analysts, and technicians. The company creates autonomous driverless shuttles that run on fixed routes. Their technology has been deployed worldwide, most recently in Japan. Perceptive plans to move here by early next year and begin data collection and testing for its driverless low-speed electric vehicles. The company will also work with Fishers to develop a pilot program for the city's short-distance transportation needs.
At 5:07, it was a tough night for Indianapolis Colts fans with the first place on the line against the Houston Texans. The Colts had the lead coming into the fourth quarter, but could not hold on. Deshaun Watson had a 30-yard touchdown pass to DeAndre Hopkins to win the game 20-17. The Texans now hold the top spot in the AFC South with 1-game lead. Next week, the Colts are facing the Tennessee Titans at Lucasville Stadium. That game is on December 1st.
The Pacers don't play until tomorrow, but they're generating some excitement this morning. The team unveiled special jerseys for the season. They showed off the City Edition uniforms at the Speedway yesterday. IndyCar drivers Charlie Kimball and Oliver Askew helped model the new look. The jerseys feature several racing elements with a checkered flag, vertical stripe, and Grand Prix style numbers. The Pacers will debut them on court at home next Wednesday. Pretty cool. All right, here at 5:08, Todd, if you're going to be wearing that new Pacers uniform out today, you might need a warm-up suit over it.
Yeah, you definitely need to have the jacket and the pants over the shorts. That is for sure here this morning, as temperatures have fallen down into the 30s and 40s across the area. So as you get going here on this Friday morning, our final commute of the work week, we're talking about temperatures that are going to hover right around the 40-degree mark. They're not really going to move much this morning, and that's due to the cloud cover that we have out there. And there's a few lingering showers in southern locations. From Indianapolis to the north, you should be dry for southern locations. Most of this will move out pretty quick as the bulk of the heavier rainfall is moving through Kentucky. So we're just kind of on the northern fringe of that. And this is going to be a pretty active weather pattern for us for today and tomorrow. With the bulk of the activity staying to the south, we're going to be on the fringe of a storm system tomorrow as well. That could bring us a little little bit of rain and snow. None of that in the forecast here for the day today. We'll see a little bit of clearing as the day goes on. I'm hopeful for some sunshine this afternoon. Even if we see the sunshine, though, not going to help the temperatures much at all, as we'll only top off in the upper 30s to low 40s here across most of the area.
Todd, thank you. The Trump administration is wanting to extend the border wall onto private property. Coming up, the letter sent to Texas homeowners about possible changes on their land.
And some people say you sleep better when you have a nightcap before bed. Others recommend taking naps during the day. Still ahead, we're debunking some sleep tip myths to help you get a better night's rest.
And here is a live look at your commute as you're heading out on this Friday. I-65 and I-70 at the North Split, where traffic is moving along just fine. Stick around. We'll be right back after this short break with more news, weather, and traffic coming right up.
Hiring Hoosiers only on RTV6.
The Trump administration is asking homeowners in Texas for permission to survey their land to extend the border wall. A letter was sent asking dozens of property owners to let the government go on private land to conduct property surveys and other work. If they don't sign, the Department of Justice may give court-ordered access to the property. The government is allowed to take over private land for public use and offer a fair price for it. Officials say the sections to be built on the property would use Pentagon funds. So far, Border Protection has updated about 78 miles of existing border walls.
General Motors announcing it's building a new manufacturing plant in Ohio. GM says it will spend $175 million to build new 251,000 square foot plant in Brookville in the Miami Valley. An all-new diesel engine for heavy-duty pickup trucks will be built there. It's expected to bring in 100 new jobs to the area. Construction on the new plant is expected to be done by the end of next year. A GM executive says the plant will be efficient and environmentally friendly.
A Philippines airline jet made an emergency landing at LAX after flames were seen coming out of one of its engines. A passenger took this video of the scary situation. He was first getting video of his young daughter's reaction of the plane taking off when he saw the fire coming from below the wing. There were more than 300 people on board the Boeing 777. The plane still managed to land safely and no one was hurt. The FAA is working to find out what caused that engine fire.
Officials believe a house hanging on the edge of a bluff could topple into Lake Michigan at any moment with a strong storm moving in. The storm is scheduled to move through today. Heavy erosion caused the earth to crumble beneath the structure. Park Township officials held an emergency meeting last night and decided not to intervene, even though a collapse could take another home down with it. Nothing is left in the building and the utilities are shut off, so town officials don't think there would be much of an impact. Pretty crazy. Back here at home, let's get a look at our weather. Todd, what can we expect here in central Indiana?
And we're dealing with quiet conditions here this morning for the most part. A live look outside, and I know it's a little hard to see with the sun not up yet, but you can see there's some moisture out there, and it's still kind of a damp morning when you walk out the door. Yesterday evening, we had that patchy drizzle. It was light. It was just kind of pesky, and that's still around in some spots, but we're going to start to dry things out here, and the reason why is this wind that's out of the northwest. It's going to be breezy today, but that northwesterly wind is a dry wind direction, so we'll have to be patient, but we will see the moisture start to decrease here throughout the day today, and of course clouds are comprised of moisture, and so they'll start to thin out as well, but it's probably going to be not until the afternoon hours for that to happen. It's 40 degrees right now in Indy, 39 in Greencastle. Everybody's within a couple degrees of each other here this morning, and when I show you the high temperatures in just a second, they're not going to be much different than what we have out there right now. So while that northwesterly wind dries us out, it also prevents us from warming much throughout the day today. So Storm Team 6 radar was pretty active yesterday. There's not a whole lot on it here in central Indiana right now. Just a few lingering showers in Bedford down towards Seymour, but those two are on their way out of the area off into Ohio. And as we expand out even further, I want to show you the big picture, because tomorrow a storm system is going to follow almost the same track as this one through Kentucky and then eventually off towards the East Coast. And we're just going to be on the northern fringes of it, and you can kind of see that storm system getting together off to our west. So throughout the day today, at least, we have clouds this morning. Gradually, we'll thin those clouds out for some sunshine later on this afternoon. Even once we get into that sunshine, though, temperatures, they are not going to warm up much throughout throughout the day today. So we're in the 30s here this morning. Transition into the afternoon hours, and temperatures will get up to about 41 degrees with the clouds thinning and then turning partly cloudy late in the day. But the temperatures really don't budge with a high of 41 degrees. It's Friday evening. You may have plans to be out in the town this evening. If you do so, just grab the jacket. It'll be dry with temperatures that will be in the 30s. Now for tomorrow morning, we wake up to temperatures that are at or below freezing. So it's a cold start to our Saturday, and then throughout the day, temperatures don't warm much at all. We're only in the upper 30s to right around 40 degrees with a rain-snow mixture throughout the day. Now, I mentioned those storms to our south. We're just on the fringe of some storms for tomorrow as well. So there will be some rain and or snow showers in the forecast for tomorrow. They're going to be very light. They should be pretty spotty as far as accumulation goes. Maybe some northern areas you could pick up a little accumulation on grassy areas. Should not be a big deal for us. Sunday's the better day of the weekend at 44 with sunshine, then back into the 50s for Monday and Tuesday. Lauren.
All right, Todd, thanks so much. Here is a live look right now at your commute on this Friday. Over on the west side, I-70 here at Lyndhurst Drive. Traffic is picking up in this area, as you can see, but it's traveling smoothly. No crashes or delays right now on the west side to slow down your commute. Let's take a look at some drive times over in that area. If you start here at Ronald Reagan Parkway and then you're heading to the downtown area, I-65, traveling on eastbound on 70, there's no delays. It's a 12-minute commute, so no problems there. Let's take a turn over to the east side right now, give you a live look at I-70 and Sherman Drive. Lots of headlines moving across your screen, both eastbound and westbound. No crashes to report right now around the metro area.
Twitter is letting users censor some of the replies on their posts. The company is rolling out a new feature that will allow users to hide unwanted replies. To use it, tap the gray icon that appears on a post and hit hide reply. They will then be moved to a different page instead of being right under the main tweet. The moved tweets can still be seen, though. Twitter hopes the changes will make the platform less toxic.
Taking a hot bath, drinking warm milk, sleeping with a fan on, suggestions about getting a good night's sleep seem to be endless, right? Well, ABC's Trevor Alt takes a closer look at which sleep tips work and which ones don't.
How'd you sleep last night? If you got less than 7 hours, the CDC says you're sleep deprived, and that's the case for more than a third of Americans.
I wake up at least 4 or 5 times a night.
When it comes to good sleep, there are lots of questions, and not everybody knows the right answers. First up, what's better, sleeping in a warm room or a cold one?
Cold.
I like warm.
It's cold outside. I could just stick a leg out then.
There you go.
It's a colder room.
Yeah?
I wouldn't have thought so, but I just read something about this.
So the optimal sleeping temperature is between 68 and 72 degrees. The body temperature lowers as you're falling asleep. And if the room is too hot, it can make the body too hot and make it harder to fall asleep.
How about once your thermostat is set? A nightcap, maybe a glass of wine should help you drift off, right?
Probably.
If I go out for a night out with a few drinks, I'll sleep like a log.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think you sleep better?
No, I tried that.
It didn't work for you?
Alcohol disrupts the sleep architecture, which means the structure of sleep and the sleep phases. You don't get the deep, restful phases in the amount and the depth that makes you feel good and that you need.
Let's say you're still having trouble sleeping at night. Can you fill up your sleep bank with afternoon naps instead?
I don't think it hinders a good night's sleep.
When I fall asleep after school, it's harder for me to sleep at night.
I take cat naps.
Do you think that that's healthier than just sleeping at night?
No.
Power naps are healthy. They are 20 to 30 minutes, and they give you a natural boost and recharge, kind of like a cup of coffee.
Of all the factors impacting your health, sleep is among the most important. Any step you can take to make it easier is worth it. After all, it is a third of your life. Trevor Alt, ABC News, New York.
All right, well, speaking of coffee, Starbucks is offering a new deal for Black Friday this year. Starting Tuesday, you can buy refillable tumblers for $40 with endless refills. The 16-ounce tumbler can be refilled with free grande brewed coffee or hot tea for the entire month of January. That is about an $82 value if you drink Starbucks coffee or tea every day. Supplies are limited, and the deal is only available at company-operated and licensed stores. Celebration and dancing as national honors were given out at the White House. After the break, the Jig actor John Voight performed for President Trump.
And here is a live look right now in the downtown area. No problems on the roads. I-65 and I-70 at the North Split. Stick around. We'll be right back.
At a national medal ceremony, actor Jon Voight began dancing before being given a medal by President Trump. The song Midnight Cowboy was played during the ceremony, and Voight stood up on the stage and started sliding across it. The Academy Award-winning actor starred in the movie back in 1969. The president clapped, and then Voight returned to his seat. He was later honored with the National Medal of Arts. President Trump praised him for, quote, making some of the greatest movies of all time.
All right. Well, we do want to bring in Todd Clausen right now and talk about our forecast today. It's Friday, Todd. People are planning out today and also their weekend.
Yeah, so as we go throughout today, gradual clearing, so the day gets better as the day goes on. It just doesn't get a whole lot warmer. Your temperatures right now are basically what you get throughout the entire day, but the skies should start to brighten a little bit this afternoon. Now, tomorrow, there's a rain-snow mixture that's going to move through. Everything should be very, very light, and with a high of 41, any snowflakes you do see mixing in, not going to cause any issues on the roadways. However, once the sun sets, that's when we're going to see temperatures start to cool off as we go into the evening hours. By Sunday, we're below freezing, so there could be a few slick spots, and then Sunday, mostly sunny and a high of 44.
Todd, thank you. Babies and their mothers in our state are dying at one of the highest rates in the country. Ahead on Good Morning Indiana, what state leaders are doing to make medical care more accessible.
And here's a live look right now at traffic on the west side, I-465 and Crawfordsville Road. You can see everything's traveling up to speed in all directions. We'll continue to keep a close eye on your commute. Stick around. We'll be right back.
Today at 10 on RTV6. This is Good Morning Indiana, working for you.
Now at 5:30 on Good Morning Indiana, a new study found lead contamination in homes and backyards across the city.
Our Kelsey Anderson is working for you, finding out what you need to know and how one Indiana lawmaker is trying to fix the problem. And more than a third of Indiana women don't have access to necessary maternity care close to where they live.
Call 6 Investigates is getting answers from Indiana's top leaders about how they plan to take care of our most vulnerable population. But first, here it is Friday, and we want to welcome you into Good Morning Indiana, and we got to get a look at today's forecast.
Yeah, Todd, we do have some football games tonight, and people have a lot of plans as we head into the holiday season this weekend. I know Chris Kindle Market is open and other exciting things. Winter lights at Newfields. Are people going to need to bundle up or bring an umbrella?
You'll need to bundle up all days, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. That is not going to change. As far as the umbrella, you probably don't need it today. That is the good news. I didn't check the sunglasses this morning, but as far as with the afternoon hours goes, you probably need the sunglasses. But since the morning checklist, you don't need them this morning with the clouds in place. Your outdoor workout is good to go. So Storm Team 6 radar is a lot more quiet. Of course, there's some drizzle out there that the radar can't pick up, so be aware of that. And then the lingering heavier showers continue to move south of Seymour at this hour. So the overall trend here will be for the clouds to decrease from north to south as this big area of rain, we just avoided that real steady rainfall, that moves off towards the east. And you can see the skies trying to clear already up in the Chicago area. So be patient today. We do get into some sunshine. Unfortunately, these temperatures that are in the 30s and 40s right now, they will not warm much at all. It's pretty much going to hold steady throughout the day today with a northwesterly wind. But again, the afternoon hours do turn a little brighter with a high rate around 41 degrees. Lauren?
All right, Todd, here is a live look over on the northeast side, I-465 and Fall Creek Road. You can see traffic there is traveling smoothly. No problems to slow you down. Let's take you across town to the northwest side. Drivers heading in from areas like Whitestown, Zionsville, the northwest side. Good morning to you. Here's a look at your commute down I-65. A 20-minute drive right now from State Road 267 to I-70 at the north split. No issues. Let's take a turn to the east side, I-70 and Emerson Avenue. Traffic is moving along up to speed, both eastbound and westbound. Of course, we're heading into the weekend, and we do have some weekend road work planned all across the metro area. We're going to be breaking that down for you, areas you should avoid over the weekend. That's coming up.
This morning, RTV6 is working for you, looking into an issue that could impact people right here in Indianapolis. A new study has found lead contamination in homes and backyards across the city.
Pretty concerning, and our Kelsey Anderson is joining us live this morning with how residents are reacting. Kelsey.
Good morning. Yeah, so the big concern about this new study is that they think that the lead is coming from several locations and not just one. They say the lead has been found in dirt, dust, and old water pipes. Now, an Indiana legislator is trying to do something about that problem, but a bill she introduced this year requiring lead testing never made it out of the committee.
What I wanted to do was require that all children are tested for lead before they start school, because so many are not tested, because it relies on the parents to get them there to testing and everything like that. Even if they just do a mass testing event before school starts, anything would be better than what they're doing now.
Residents who attended last night's awareness forum are upset that officials didn't let the public know about the problem a lot sooner. Now, earlier this year, the NAACP did voluntary testing for kindergartners and first graders in the city's charter schools. Next year, they will begin testing at IPS and Pike Townships. Reporting live, Kelsey Anderson, RTV6.
Kelsey, thank you. An update this morning on a Call 6 investigation into so-called maternity deserts in Indiana. Our Call 6 Investigates team first told you about the problem Wednesday. Babies and mothers in the state are dying at a higher rate than in Iraq and the Gaza Strip due to a lack of proper care close to them. We took that information to the governor and the state health commissioner to see what's being done.
Well, there is more funding, but most importantly, there's more boots on the ground, zip code by zip code where the need is the highest. What we've started to do is having OB navigators on the ground in the home throughout the whole process.
We as a state can work to give funding and to support programs and resources as the governor and our legislators have done, but then we need to work community by community to help them to bring together their home visitation services, to bring together their hospital systems, their healthcare providers.
The OB Navigator program was signed into law earlier this year, committing $3.3 million to connecting women in the highest risk areas with home visitation services during and after pregnancy. But the State Department of Health does not plan to roll it out until January of 2020.
An important warning now this morning for patients at a northern Indiana hospital. Goshen Hospital says they may have been exposed to several diseases. According to a letter that was sent to patients, a technician failed to complete one crucial step in the sterilizing process of surgical equipment sometime between April 1st and September 30th. Well, that left patients potentially exposed to hepatitis, HIV, and other infectious diseases.
How could this happen? You're supposed to be a hospital. People rely on you to take care of them. At this point in my life, I'm like, I'm getting old. I can't, this kind of thing, it scares me.
Goshen Hospital says the risk of infection is low and it's offering free testing for patients who may be impacted.
A homicide investigation is underway this morning after Metro Police say a man was found dead in a basement. Officers were called to a home on 20th Street near Emerson Avenue on the east side around 3:45 yesterday afternoon. They say it appears the man was shot to death. Right now there is no suspect information and the victim's identity has not been released.
Over on the city's west side, a man's death is now being investigated as a homicide. Police were called here to the 3700 block of West 21st Street Wednesday afternoon. When they arrived there, they found an unconscious male who was pronounced dead at the scene. The circumstances of his death have not been released yet. His body has been sent for an autopsy to determine the cause of death. And as always, if you have any information about this case or any other crime, you can call IMPD or leave an anonymous tip with Crime Stoppers at 317-262-TIPS.
There is a need for more diversity in the National Bone Marrow Registry, and you could have what it takes to help. Each year, at least 18,000 people in the United States have one thing in common. They're waiting on a match to change their life. African Americans currently only make up 7% of that database, and those of mixed heritage have even less of a chance to be matched. That's why there's a push to get more people with diverse backgrounds on the registry.
Fortunately, a lot of patients either pass away while they're waiting for a match to come up, or they just kind of have to accept the grim reality that it's very unlikely that they will find a match.
Signing up for the registry only takes a few minutes, and getting swabbed to see if your match just takes a second. But for patients in need, those seconds and minutes are worth a lifetime.
It is 5:37, and congratulations are in order for former Colts quarterback Andrew Luck. He and his wife Nicole are now parents of a new baby girl. NFL reporter Andrea Kramer made that announcement during last night's Colts game against the Texans. Kramer says the Lucks have named the baby Lucy. Fittingly, she was born on the 12th. That's Luck's old jersey number. Andrew and Nicole met while they were both student athletes at Stanford University, and they married earlier this year. Luck retired from the Colts just prior to the start of this regular season, and we want to wish them and little baby Lucy a congratulations. Welcome to Indianapolis. All right, let's get a check of our bus stop forecast right now. Todd Clausen is standing by with what the kids need to know as they head out there on this Friday.
Yeah, it's the end of the work week, end of the school week for the kids, and as you walk out the door, whether you're taking the kids to the bus stop or you're heading to work here this morning, you're walking out to maybe just a little bit of patchy drizzle. It shouldn't be anything more than that. Otherwise, we're just going to have mostly cloudy skies, so nothing that's going to really hamper the kids. I don't think you need to have the umbrella handy throughout the day today because that drizzle will be ending pretty quickly this morning. Your temperature's right around 40 degrees. As the kids come home from school, the skies will be a little bit brighter, obviously, with the sun up, but also because the clouds will be thinning out as the day goes on. With that said, though, even though we do get into some sunshine, look at the temperature. It's not going to move much at all. So the temperature you walk out to this morning is what you get when you come home from work later on this afternoon. Now, the bulk of this rainfall is down to our south. That's where it is going to stay. So you notice the clouds to the north are starting to thin out as well. So our precipitation chances here throughout the day today are very, very small from start to finish. Late tonight, a few spotty showers may start to sneak back into southern locations, but not a big deal. But we do have a light rain snow mixture in the forecast for tomorrow. We'll talk more about that coming up in Maine weather here in just a few minutes.
Todd, thank you. Democrats and Republicans on the House Intelligence Committee have made their closing arguments as they end the final impeachment hearing of the week. Straight ahead, how the White House is preparing for the next potential steps. And feast your eyes on this. Edible Arrangements is releasing a new line of treats that will have some thinking they finally reached nirvana. It's 5:39. Stick around. We'll be right back.
214-2424.
We have new information this morning about last week's deadly shooting at a California high school.
Police say that 16-year-old who opened fire on campus, killing 2 classmates and wounding 3 others, used an unregistered, untraceable ghost gun. Investigators say that Nathaniel Burhouse 45 caliber semi-automatic pistol was assembled from gun parts and did not have a serial number. So-called ghost guns are a growing problem for law enforcement all across the country because they're almost impossible to trace.
Sold at gun shows, for example. You can buy them online, and they're also known as an 80% gun. So 80% of it is assembled already. You get the additional 20%, and they're sold as a kit. And then you can legally buy it, assemble the weapon yourself, and then you have a gun that is not registered, and no one knows that you have it.
Authorities don't yet know whether Burhouse built the pistol himself or if his father did. Police say the father owned 6 registered firearms, which were removed from the home and destroyed before he died in 2017.
In Washington, the ongoing impeachment inquiry is entering a new phase. After 2 weeks of marathon hearings, the White House is said to be gearing up for an all but assured Senate impeachment trial. ABC's Elizabeth Herr is in New York with the latest.
House Democrats wrapping 2 weeks of public impeachment hearings, convinced the testimonies they heard are proof President Trump abused his power.
This president believes he is above the law, beyond accountability. And I would just say to people watching here at home and around the world, in the words of my great colleague, we are better than that. Adjourned.
The scheduled public hearings ending Thursday with former top National Security Council official Dr. Fiona Hill quoting former National Security Advisor John Bolton as calling the president's personal attorney Rudy Giuliani a hand grenade who's going to blow everybody up.
Did you understand what he meant by that?
That he was clearly pushing forward issues and ideas that would, probably come back to haunt us. And in fact, I think that that's where we are today.
But Republicans called the Democrats' push to impeach the president a political hit job.
The Democrats promised they would be different. They promised they would govern. But we found out from the very first day of swearing in that the true goal here was to impeach the president.
Even still, ABC News learning the White House is now bracing for an impeachment trial with senior administration officials meeting to talk strategy and President Trump hosting a lunch with 8 GOP senators, including 2 of his critics, Mitt Romney and Susan Collins. Now, if the House votes to impeach, that's when the process moves to the GOP-controlled Senate, and it takes 2/3 of the Senate to convict and remove the president from office. Elizabeth Herr, ABC News, New York.
Here at 5:45, an incredible rescue and an act of heroism caught on camera in Connecticut. Just take a look at this dramatic surveillance footage. The car on the left side of your screen suddenly explodes, bursting into flames. Moments later, Edward Sire and his wife drive by in the other direction. You can see Sire jump out of his car and run towards the fire, pulling the other driver, Glenwood Little, to safety. Luckily, an ambulance happened to be nearby and arrived shortly thereafter. Glenwood Little was taken to the hospital to be treated for minor burns. Sire was presented with an award from firefighters for his bravery. All right, we have a check at our weather now here with Todd Clausen.
All right, as you walk out the door here this morning, you're walking out to kind of eerie conditions out there. We still have a little bit of patchy drizzle and a few showers to the south, but the overall trend here will be for gradual clearing to take place, and most of us are dry. It's really nothing more than those spotty showers and a little bit of patchy drizzle in southern locations, but it's just kind of that damp feeling out there left over from last night when we had that drizzle. We have the clouds in place, so no moisture's really been able to escape the atmosphere. It's just kind of trapped here at the surface. 40 in Indy, 40 in Bloomington, 39 is the current temperature in Kokomo. And temperatures today as a whole really are not going to do much at all. They're going to hold pretty steady throughout the entire day, if not go down a few degrees here this morning before they start to climb back up into the low 40s later on this afternoon. And that's due to a pretty persistent northwesterly wind. So that northwesterly wind helps us out and it hurts us. It hurts us by preventing the temperatures from warm, but it helps us out because it's going to start to help to thin the clouds out. Here's what's left of the showers on Storm Team 6 radar. Again, really nothing to talk about in southern locations. They continue to move out, and then as you look to the north, the clouds will continue to thin throughout the course of the morning hours, but I think it's probably not until the afternoon hours as we go over to TrueCast that we really thin the clouds out and get any decent sunshine in here. You just got to be patient. Again, like I said, there's a lot of moisture trapped here in the lower levels of the atmosphere that will have to burn off with the sunshine and the warmer temperatures, and it just takes a little while this time of year. So going into the evening hours, if you are one of the lucky ones still playing in high school football sectionals rather this evening and going into states, temperatures will be in the 30s. You'll need to have the jacket or the blanket handy as you sit in those bleachers, but we're not expecting any precipitation. That changes for your weekend. Saturday, we're expecting rain snow mixture. Sunday's the better day of the weekend because it's dry with a temperature of 44. So you hear the mention of snow and you may get a little worried. This is not a big snowmaker for us. Don't want you to be shocked if you see some flakes, but temperatures tomorrow will be climbing up again into the low 40s. For any snowflakes that you do see, there'll be colder air in the upper levels of the atmosphere, but not at the surface. So little to no accumulation. If you do see, it's mainly on grassy areas and it'll be closer to sunset and beyond. With that said, though, I will mention that there will be the potential for slick spots after dark. Not really so much because of any snow accumulation, but as temperatures drop below freezing heading into Sunday morning, there could be some moisture on the roadways and wet conditions, and that could refreeze. So that could be our bigger issue rather than the mention of snow in the forecast. Temperatures back into the 50s for Monday and Tuesday. Storm system to watch the day before Thanksgiving. Looks mainly to be rain showers here across the area for us.
All right, Todd, thanks so much. Let's plan out your drive right now as you're heading to work early on this Friday from the south side. State Road 37 as you're traveling northbound there from Smith Valley Road to I-465. It's a 9-minute commute, no delays. Looking across the county here, getting on the interstate Whiteland Road northbound on I-65 all the way up to the downtown area at I-70 in the north split. It's an 18-minute commute, so everything there on northbound I-65 is coming in smoothly from the south side. So let's take a look to the north side, I-465 here in Michigan Road. Traffic is moving along up to speed both eastbound and westbound. No major issues to slow you down. Well, it's officially the end of an era. The Victoria's Secret fashion show will be no longer a holiday staple. The parent company, L Brands, made this announcement Thursday. The move follows months of speculation and years of declining TV ratings. Last year's show was watched by 3.3 million Americans versus the 12 million when it was first broadcast in 2001. In addition to slumping sales and viewership, Victoria's Secret has faced a string of controversies. In August chief marketing officer Ed Razik stepped down after a controversial Vogue interview during which he said the brand would not cast transgender or plus-sized models because, quote, the show is a fantasy.
Microsoft is pushing back the launch of its new Surface earbuds. The company unveiled the new devices in October as a rival to Apple's AirPods. Microsoft's versions are receptive to touch, able to translate speech, and come with Microsoft's smart digital assistant Cortana built in. The Surface earbuds were supposed to launch before the holiday season. Now Microsoft says they will debut in the spring of 2020. They're expected to retail for $249 and offer up to 8 hours on a single charge.
Edible Arrangements is now selling CBD-infused edibles called Incredible Edibles. The CBD-infused treats include smoothies, chocolate-dipped fruit, and baked goods. CBD has risen in popularity since the passage of the U.S. Farm Bill last year, which legalized some hemp with conditions. Now, CBD fans say it has benefits like helping to manage inflammation and treating conditions like insomnia. Right now, those Incredible Edibles are only available in Dallas, but the company plans to roll it out to 200 stores by the end of the year.
Up next, a Florida dog got the ride of his life after accidentally getting left in a running car. We'll show you the entertaining video coming up next.
Come take a test drive at Honda of Fishers.
Happy birthday to the OG. That's the original Gerber baby. Ann Turner Cook celebrated her 93rd birthday Wednesday. She became the face of the iconic brand back in 1928 when the company hosted a contest looking for someone to represent its baby food advertising campaign. A family friend submitted a sketch of Cook, and the rest is history. Cook's identity was kept a secret until the 1970s. As an adult, Cook went on to become a mystery novelist and English teacher. Her relationship with the company has remained strong. Last year, she posed with Lucas Warren, the first Gerber baby to have Down syndrome.
Very sweet there. Well, residents in a Florida neighborhood got quite the surprise when they woke up to see this. A neighbor's dog decided to take the family's car out for a spin, quite literally. It seems like there was no one in the car, but if you take a real close look here, yeah, you can see this black lab behind the wheel. Turns out the dog's owner left the car running when he stepped out for just a moment. Dog somehow put it in reverse. The wild ride, which lasted nearly an hour, left tire tread marks on the streets, smashed a mailbox. Thankfully, no one here was hurt, didn't run into anything else. Police were eventually able to wrangle this car and get that dog out to safety.
You know, this gives me an idea. Todd, we normally do your dog walking forecast.
All right.
Why don't we do a dog driving forecast?
I'm just
What's
saying,
that like?
I'm just saying that car wasn't spinning that fast. I don't know how somebody could not hop in and
It looks like they're standing there like,
hey, I would not risk my foot getting run over to do that. Yeah, as long as no one was getting hurt, I think I would let it keep rolling.
I would have saved the day. If I was there, I would have saved the day.
As you always do.
I'm just telling you that right now.
Are you going to save the day with our forecast?
That maybe.
No promise.
I don't know. We get a little bit of sunshine in here this afternoon. This morning, though, there's a few showers and some patchy drizzle here in southern locations. And overall, just kind of a damp feeling as you walk out the door. Temperatures are in the 30s and 40s. So what's the day look like as a whole? Well, we'll have this drizzle this morning, but gradual clearing as we get into the afternoon hours. So we will see some sunshine. You just got to be really, really patient here. As far as temperatures, 39 right now. Your high is only 42, so we don't really warm much at all. But you do not need the umbrella today. We'll talk more about your weekend forecast coming up in the next half hour.
Coming up in the next half hour, an IU professor is facing backlash this morning after a series of offensive tweets went viral. Our Alyssa Donovan will join us live with why the university says he won't be fired.